Hello and welcome to This Album with me, William Hann. It's the podcast where each episode a guest and I will deep dive an album of their choice. It could be any artist, it could be any genre, it could be any year. And we are gonna discuss the songs, we'll discuss the shows, we will discuss the artwork. But what I really want to know is where my guest first heard the album of choice and the emotional attachment that they have to the record. And if all goes to plan, we might even have a bit of a laugh while doing it. Well, today, I'm joined by a man that's too brass bound to talk about it, which doesn't really bode well for a podcast, but given the fact that I've had some of the best times of my life at countless gigs of his that I attended in the mid-noughties, I'm pretty confident we can talk. Now, will I find a way to crowbar a third Ordinary Boys song title into this intro, or will I just get on with the show? Well, podcasters will be podcasters, and boys will be... Actually, don't worry about it. For the actual, literal Ordinary Boys, it's Preston!
Yeah, it's me!
It's Preston, it's him! Hello, Preston.
Hello, how are you doing?
Pretty good, happy, healthy, hot and bothered.
It's just disgustingly hot, isn't it?
Disgustingly hot.
I've moved back from LA to this, so I think maybe it's my fault. I hope not.
You monster!
I'm really struggling.
Yeah, well, thanks, Sam. How are you? How's things?
Yeah, really good, very good. Yeah, I'm really happy to do this. I'm really glad to be. There's nowhere I'd rather be than discussing this album that we haven't announced yet.
But we will get to that. Yeah. Don't you worry. I should say welcome back to the Cumberland, I'm guessing.
Yeah,
you were talking off mic before. But
I did a gig here, or I played a song went on stage with my friend Modson. He played here. And we all went out to Helgies afterwards.
What's Helgies? I know Helgies.
Oh God,
no.
It's like, I want to say it's like a black metal bar, but it's just a sort of heavy metal, sort of gruesome late night, open till 6 a.m. They serve those picklebacks, which is like, I don't know what it is, pickled juice.
Yeah, and whiskey, I think.
Yeah.
I remember that. That's brought back a memory of being at Glastonbury once. My mate said, "Do you guys want some cocktails?" I was like, "Of course I do, Jonathan. What you got?" And he's come walking back holding numerous small drinks, looking a bit confused. And I thought, he's really made a mess of this. What the fuck's going on? Apparently this is something called a pickleback, and the rest was just a horror show after that.
They're absolutely awful.
They're awful.
That was, for some reason...
Awful.
Well, I'll tell you why that's the sort of lasting memory of that night, is because it was we were sort of in there until closing, until the sun came up.
Wow. But, quite the shift.
Quite the shift in, yeah.
So there's an elephant in this room that I must address, Preston. I've had lots of very fun times at your shows over the years. I was a proper Ordinary Army, all in, front row, countless times. So thank you for showing me a really good time.
Well, thanks so much for coming. There's plenty more opportunities in the near future.
The boys are back in town, right?
Please come back along.
So tell me a bit about this. How's life getting the boys back together?
It's been really good. I've been in LA for like 3 years, just doing songwriting, and when that's been my career for the last like 10 years or so. And
with great success, we must add, right? Feel free to sort of front a little bit here. So.
Well, I've been a successful songwriter in LA. It's been really nice, but I was starting to see the sort of AI stuff creeping in, and it just felt, and it was getting a bit overcrowded, and I just suddenly thought, I did have that band. Maybe that would be kind of a fun thing to do. And so I like got in touch with Chuck, who's the first forming member.
That'll do.
We formed the band.
Got it.
And he was like, yeah, let's do it. And then I sort of looked away, or just sort of daydreamed and sort of wasn't paying attention. And now we're now managed by Alan McGee, which is huge. I would have probably chosen a different album if that had happened before I chose this, but it's very new.
Oh, of course, yeah, in hindsight.
And we've got a bunch of tours booked. We're like doing some big support slots, and we've been playing with Madness, and we've got a record deal. So I guess I'm doing this now.
Huge.
Yeah.
And you've been playing a few shows the last couple of weeks. How have they been?
Amazing. The Madness one was just, do you know what? I'm actually boiling. I'm going to
take it off.
No, we've been playing with Madness, and that's just been just such a treat. Like, you know, Sugg sort of thanked us on stage. It was
great.
like really nice. We've got a bunch of other stuff booked. We're writing the album. You know, it's making me think like that maybe the writing has been a great sort of, it's really what I needed in my life at the time that it came. And then actually the band, this is like really what I need now, just to sort of engage with music again at a time when like AI is coming in and sort of assuming that no one wants to create, or like people don't enjoy it. I saw an interview with the guy who did Suno, which is this AI app where you just sort of throw it 3 words and a bit of a melody, and it creates this just awful EDM song. And you know, and he was saying that people don't enjoy making music.
But that's
anymore.
bollocks.
It's total bollocks, right? It's a fantastically self-indulgent treat to be able to do that, especially if if people are going to listen to it. So I think for me, it's like, it does feel like it's a time when you kind of have to take a side in a way. And I'm like, fuck AI, I hate it.
Let's turn guitars
and when
up
I
to
see
11.
AI, if I see like an AI image, I have a very like visceral, I don't know if this is something I have. I also have this thing called HPPD, which is something that you get from taking too many hallucinogenic drugs, where I'm constantly tripping with like, which is not as good nice as it sounds. It's quite stressful, and I think it's something to do with that. This is what I'm convinced. But so I have a very like visceral reaction to the AI stuff, where I get really sort of queasy.
Wow.
And I sort of have it with if I hear something that's AI, I'm just like, it has that like sucky sound, it has that weird, like, it's just really gross. Anyway, so I wonder if I'd love to like know if that's anyone else's experience, but for me, I just viscerally like, I find it very sort of like it makes my sort of fight or flight things, whatever. And also, I think there is a great industry there. Alan McGee manages a bunch of other amazing bands, and they're all doing great. They're all very successful. There is a sort of the ancient trade of being a musician. It still exists in a way that is the same as it always was. You find some strings pulled taut over a bit of wood, and you strum them in a particular way, and you sing. That's just been the way you've always done it. Whether you're a caveman doing it, or whether you're, doing it in Wembley Stadium or whatever, it still exists in the same way. Whereas, like, if AI wants to come and sort of try and disrupt that, because, why does AI exist, right? Is because Google has found a way to, like, optimize our search for information and get people to sponsor that so that they can get results that they want, whatever. And now AI is coming along saying, like, we'll just ask AI what the best shampoo is, and then someone, it's all, obviously it's just a nightmare where no one cares about what's good for human beings, right? Except for our techno-feudal overlords that we have to give all our money to. Anyway, rant over, but now doing the band, I'm like, I'm on the road. I'm with my best friends that I've known from, everyone in my band I've known since I was 10 years old.
Amazing.
And we've now got a new keyboard player, Holly, who I've known since I was 5 years old.
Wow.
So I'm just like, it feels to me, when I was getting a bit sort of disillusioned by the songwriting industry, that just the sort of machine, and I've been doing a lot of K-pop, which I love. And then one of my very good friends, Brasco, his name is, he's this fantastic songwriter who lives in LA. And I was talking to him recently, and he was saying, I was saying, like, I'm not doing the K-pop anymore. And he was saying that, people spend years of writing music for K-pop, and then they'll never move culture. Do you know what I mean? Whereas, like, some people would argue for the worse, but the Ordinary Boys has moved culture in our own very, very tiny way, right?
It was a big way for me, Sam.
Yeah.
It was a big way for me. Like, I grew up very suburban, and going to see you guys was like my first time going out into London. Like, going to Brixton for the first time was fucking mental for me. I saw you guys supporting the streets.
Oh yeah, that was so great.
I had my first crowd surf that night as it happened.
Amazing.
It was 2 girls that lifted me up who went on to become the Tuts. If you remember the Tuts?
Yeah.
And they said my legs just kept on going. I thought, this is it, man. This is what I'm all about. This is my culture. This is my people. Great. So you got me out of the house, Sam. So I can't thank you enough for leaving Ruislip behind.
Good.
Getting fucking stuck in.
I think it's really hard to see your own position within culture and music, and like I've been on the record a million times, sort of slagging off slightly that the music that we sort of came out up amongst, like that's I've
there's a lot of bad stuff going on at the time.
I just like to say sort of like controversial shit. I don't really mean it, but like
sure.
But actually, like the more time has gone on, and you have your obvious great bands, like you have your Libertines, but actually like the Dead 60s were a great band. Did you remember them?
They needed a bit of time away from them, I think. I needed a bit of time away, but now I listen to them again. I go, oh, he's fucking pretty
and
good.
Ordinary
actually.
Boys. I'm like,
same as
going back to those records and playing them, and I'm like, I think I can remember what we were like when we started, and basically like that. Your band exists from the moment you form, really, to the moment that your record is out there for everyone, and then it's sort of everyone's, and then it becomes increasingly difficult to like make your own decisions based on like anything real, or like follow like where your heart wants to go. And I have such are we allowed to say what this album I'm talking about is?
They already know, Sam. Don't worry.
Right. Of course they do. It's in the title.
It's in the fucking title.
I remember, I'm not sure how true this is, but I remember someone once told me, which is not a very good way of starting a fact that you're about to rely on heavily in your argument.
Let's see if it's a fact or not. Go on.
That Damon Albarn had said somewhere in 1991 or something, that just said the third Blur album is going to be where we reach a pop audience, and it's going to be, or he said like, I'm going to write an album that's going to cross over into being a pop record, and everyone's going to love it. And he said, and I'm going to write it in, or it's going to come out in 1994. And then you start to see that, you're like, they knew exactly what they were doing, but they knew what they were doing. It was predestined, or they'd thought through the sort of steps. Then they got there, and then The Great Escape is what happens. And I think The Great Escape's a fucking excellent.
Got its moments, isn't it?
I love it. I think it's not even worse than Parklife, really. It's just confusing.
It's a bit silly.
It's confusing. And that's because they got there and they were like, okay, well, now we've got this delicate thing. What do we do now? How do we then, what's the next step? Obviously, going on to do song 2 and everything, that was, that made sense.
That was the reaction,
but to be in that position, and I think, I've done it. Third Ordinary Boys album, I think that's a good album. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing.
It wasn't an Ordinary Boys album, though, was it?
No, do you know what it was? It was, none of the band would fucking come into the studio to help me. I was on my own. I was sent to some pop studio where they did all this like Enrique Iglesias stuff. I don't know what I'm doing. And suddenly I've got a hand in an album in like 6 months. So, or less than that. It was like 6 months from like coming up. Anyway, I was just like, all right, I want to do a Parklife, right? I'm like, I want to cross over into the pop space. But on my own, with like everything sort of against me. That was what I had with the information that I understood at the time, right? And actually 9 to 5 and I Love You we're playing them at the moment. We've never played them really live before, and they go down so well.
They're great, man.
They've been really
history's been very kind to them.
Yeah. So what you forget about being in a band is like I was like 20 when imagine saying to a 20-year-old,
know.
your album, do it, make it better. Or like, it's just like ridiculous. So I take all of that with sort of a pinch of salt. And actually like, I've gone on a bit of a journey of sort of understanding my own output, right, as an artist. And I think at the time I was just like, yeah, fuck off. I'm just a lout and I'm just an idiot and like I don't know what I'm doing. And actually, like, no, my lyrics were really fucking good, right? And I don't know how I managed to write any of those records. And now I've been a professional songwriter for 25 years or some ridiculous amount of time. And I do understand that. And I almost needed to have the career as a songwriter to sort of understand like the band. And it's all been the whole of my sort of songwriting and band career and all of this has been a very sort of personal exploration, sort of strange journey that I've been on. And actually now I'm writing this album that Don't Happy Be Worry is the name of the album.
Is that exclusive?
It's a total exclusive. No one knows that.
Don't Happy Be Worry.
Yeah. I just thought that's really good. Yeah.
I'll look a right mug if you change that now.
I know,
Sam.
no, it's locked in.
Locked in?
It's locked in. I hope I don't get in
Have
trouble.
we got a date?
Early next year. Yeah, early next year. And writing this stuff, I'm like, not only do I have the ability to do it, but I have the perspective and the sort of context that is really hard to get. And I think someone like Damon Albarn seems to be so comfortable with where he sits in relation to the music industry, in relation, especially in this record, to the history of music, right? And especially the history of British English music, really. And I think that's a really interesting place to be now, because like, I'm actually, I have an American passport, so I'm actually an American, but
I won't hold it against you, don't worry.
No, sorry. I'm sorry about everything. But I love English music, right? And I love England. But also I don't love England enough to like think that it is worth saying that I love it in this nightmare, all of this nightmare shit that's happening now, right?
You love an idea of England, right?
I like the Village Green Preservation Society by the Kinks, right? I think that's a really good album.
Makes you proud to be English, right?
Well, it makes you proud to be someone who gets to identify with that album, right? But at the same time, I think if you were someone who loves 60s music and loves the Kinks and you lived anywhere in the world, you could still enjoy that album and feel sort of ownership to it because it's such a sort of distinctive thing. So I don't know, that's an interesting place to sort of think about this album. Is like, it was, what was it, post Thatcher, Major was before
Major,
before Tony Blair was a war criminal, and when he was sort of the cool Britpop guy, and he definitely met with the Gallaghers, didn't he, at one
Very
point?
much so. Yeah.
So maybe there's something towards the end of what we're going through now that we'll get another great Britpop record, and hopefully another Britpop. It'd be great to have a sort of second wave of Britpop. Or would it be third wave? Do we count the 60s?
No, we don't. I think, quite blunt answer. Could it be, Preston? Could it be that Don't Happy Be Worry is just what this country needs to get us out of this gloom? Could this be the second era of Britpop?
No.
I
would like to think it would. Well, actually,
I'm on the PR press theory, mate. I'm trying to help you.
No. Yes, I promise it will.
Come on, this is it.
And it'll fix everything. What's also funny about doing the band now, talking about this record, is that this record came out in 94, 30 years after the 60s.
Yeah, right? I've always thought this. Yeah.
And then we're 30 years from fucking Parklife now. Does that not make you feel a bit like you want to just jump in the Thames?
Well, it gets me excited though. I feel like we're due another sort of big musical moment, I think.
But
or a cultural moment
do
of
we
some
not?
sort.
Yes, a cultural moment.
Doesn't have to be music. Could be something else. I don't know.
Do we not live in such a fractured society?
Yeah, this is it.
And do we not live in a world where not even if there was the space for another Britpop, do you not think that whoever the next Damon Albarn would stop becoming Damon Albarn by about age 9 because the world doesn't nurture talent like that in the way that it, like you need an amazing teachers around you when you're a kid. You need amazing parents to encourage you. You need money,
yeah. Sam. You need money.
Yeah.
The finger thing means taxes.
Yeah. I saw this video recently by that Rick Beato. Do you know him? He's like a guitar. He's a guitar nerd guy, but he was just saying that there's no working class musicians anymore, and of course there isn't, because like,
how can there be?
It's like, especially like I always think this with drummers, like
it's an impossible task, isn't it, to make it work?
When I was a kid, I really wanted to be a drummer, and I combined 2 birthdays and 2 Christmases together, and I got a snare. And my mum was like, start here. And then I actually I did some child acting and I bought myself my first guitar.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah. And then went into town and bought Parklife on cassette.
What a weekend.
But no, so I can't even remember what the question was. I went on a bit of a tangent
there was one,
there.
mate. But yeah, let's not worry. Why don't you tell us, for our listeners on tenterhooks, which album we are discussing today, please, Sam?
Well, we are discussing an album called Parklife by a band called Blur.
Maybe you've heard of it. A podcast when I want, except on Wednesdays, when I get rudely awoken by the algorithm.
Parklife!
Thank you, Sam. Yes, today we are deep diving into the iconic 1994 masterpiece from Britpop chaos merchants, Blur. It's an album that topped the UK charts, went 4 times platinum, and cemented Blur as one of the most important and universally adored bands of their generation. Universally is probably a bit over the top. Maybe British adored, but yeah. The band split in the late 90s, reformed in the late 2000s, reformed again in the 2010s, reformed again in 2023, and they played to all the people. So many people. But before the Hyde Park and Pyramid Stage sing-alongs, there was the National Treasure status and the feuds with... what are they called? It doesn't matter. There was Parklife, a sharp, funny, deeply English snapshot of Britain in the mid-90s. There's hook after hook. There's iconic moments galore. And it's basically one of the greatest albums of the 1990s.
I 100% agree with all of that.
Well, it's been nice seeing you, Sam. This has been this album. What an album, man. What an album. So, 1994, what a year, by the way.
The thing about 94, right?
The thing about 94 is everything changed.
You could listen to... I was 11 when this came out, right? And you could listen to Rage Against the Machine. You would listen to Cypress Hill, and you would listen to Blur. And you think about it as this like very quintessentially English moment, but actually around then I think you would just sort of listen to everything, and that was like the English thing you listened to, and you would also listen to it was definitely like Cypress Hill and Rage Against the Machine that I remember really loving at the same time as this record. And also such a good age, I think, to be...
I think that is the age when it starts, isn't it? Yeah.
Around... well, I remember... So I think when you're a kid, music is much more visual. It's much more of a visual thing. And if you think about when you first heard, like, the Beatles, when you're like 6 or whatever, and you're like, oh, Eleanor Rigby. You see this situation. You see this church. They were really good at these, like, characters and these, like...
worlds, I guess.
Places. Yeah. How many holes it is in Blackburn, Lancashire, like all these things that are very visual. Well, it was the same thing with these characters that were in this. Having like who's done that since then? Even really, like
maybe the Next Ordinary Boys.
Well, I don't know. I feel like it would just. I feel like if I did it, it would just seem so kind of like on purpose. But the way this record is it's so carefully crafted, and even Graham Coxon's guitar being this sort of almost falling apart. It sounds like he's almost like, it's like someone riding a bike and almost falling off, but just being amazing.
Yeah.
And there's a scene. I don't know if you've seen Star Shaped, which is a documentary.
I have actually. Yeah. That's when they go to a few like festivals and stuff.
Yeah. Funny.
And it's like the speakers
falls on his ankle.
Fuck me, man, it's mad. Yeah.
And there's one scene in that I think really sums up the rest of the band, or at least definitely I was going to say the rhythm section, but it's not. But that they're sitting in the it's Alex and Graham, and they're sitting in the back of a taxi with coffee cups, and Alex James is just like balancing his complete. It's panning. He's just sitting there in the taxi while they're drinking their coffee that's still in the sort of ceramic things from the hotel, and he's sipping it sort of one pinky up, and then it pans over, and Graham Coxon is there just sort of spilling it. For whatever reason, he's finding this identical trip twice as bumpy. And it's also, and that's their playing style, right? Because the bass playing is so, it's effortless. Sort of effortless, but really quite sort
very
of hard and like unnecessarily flamboyant.
Have you tried playing Girls and Boys on the bass before? Because let me tell you, I tried it once, Sam. I didn't fucking bother again.
But it really, it dances. He's an incredible bass player. We're actually playing his festival.
Oh, great!
I think it's in like a couple of months.
Yeah. The foodie one. What's it called?
It's called the Big Festival.
The Big Festival, of course. Yeah.
And Graham Coxon's his guitar playing is just like, it's so scrappy, but it's like without both of those elements, it wouldn't have been such an urgent record. I think it's the urgency of it that is what you could. You could have a greatly crafted record, but that's English and social. This sort of the particular type of social commentary, which is the social commentary is sort of hidden. It's not Billy Bragg sort of telling you about unions and whatever. Not that that's not excellent in its own way, but it presents a situation and allows you to understand it in the context of it being a song on this record. Therefore, you can make your own sort of assessments and readings about what the social commentary of it is. But you can have that record, but without the urgency. I don't want to listen to it when I'm 11 years old, right? I want to listen to Graham Coxon. The guitars, I at 11 didn't go, what cutting social commentary? Like I just went, it's also these sevens, and it's just like it's like a ragdoll sort of bouncing around, and like before that, musically, I remember the first band I ever saw was the Kinks, that my mum took me when I was 6.
It's pretty good going.
Second gig, also in Worthing, it was my brother, who was a big Britpop guy, who actually almost got signed to Food Records with his band, which actually, incidentally, I played keyboards for them at Madame Jojo's around this time when I was far too young to be in there. But I'd seen Suede at the Pavilion in Worthing, and Suede continued to be, I think, the best live band I've ever seen. I mean, they are just so good live. It's like I thought someone was. It sounded like someone was agreeing over their invisibly.
Brett Anderson, can you hear us?
But he's like a hardcore singer. He does he sort of. It was such a good show, and then they do like the sort of acoustic section, and it's also sort of dark, and there's a real murkiness to Suede, which I love, and I think that exists in this record. Like This Is a Low has that. There's some of his guitar parts have that, just that sort of dirty kind of like twangy sort of like, I don't know, that there's something very sort of quite sort of sexy and kind of mysterious about it. I don't quite know how to describe it, but like when I was younger than that then, so when I was like 10 years old, in the back of the car when we were on family holidays, singing about these, like I write my line right down his spine, or singing along to all these like, sort of queer sexual songs that I loved so much. And I can distinctly remember my brother looking at me and being like, don't sing that, like about some of the Suede lyrics. Anyway, that's a total aside, but it's that thread to me, which is like the Britpop that I really, really like. And I think that is it's very like, it's just quite sort of dirty and dangerous. And when you're a kid, and it has it mainly musically, but also some of the lyrics do go a bit kind of, there's a lot of sort of sad kind of depressive moments in this record. It's not just a fun Parklife, silly sort of thing. It's so not that. I mean, even Parklife isn't really that. And I remember once hearing Nick from the Kaiser Chiefs told me that there's a version out there somewhere with Damon singing Parklife.
I'd want to hear that.
Yeah.
I seen him do it live once. They're on Rock and In-Store at Rough Trade East, and he sings it.
Oh, that's cool.
It's pretty cool. It's very visceral.
Yeah.
Very animalistic.
Yeah.
You can tell he's going, I'm going to fucking really enjoy this today.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick. What emotions do you feel when you listen to Parklife by Blur?
Oh, what's the emotion when you're like, oh my God, I'm old?
That's every emotion I have at the moment. I've recently turned 40 and it's looming large.
Oh God, you're, I'm 44.
You're looking much better for it than me, Sam.
Yeah, God, I'm old. So I just think...
Sam, we are old.
Well, you're a spring chicken compared to me, sadly. You don't realise... also, what thing about aging, right, is in 10 years, you're going to be like, I was fucking 44 thinking I was old. But it makes me... it was such a significant record in my life. Like, I don't think I've really made that evident, but it was like my absolute everything.
Yeah.
And especially the sort of... I mean, Ordinary Boys, we had the same... We had Stylo Rouge, which was the artists that did the artwork. We had them for Over the Counter Culture.
I didn't realise that.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
And
How'd
then
that come about?
Because I said, what did Blur have?
I'll have that, please.
And then we had Stephen Street, who produced the first two albums. And that was also because, not just because he'd done Parklife, but also because he did this band...
what are they called?
Promise Ring, that I like.
Unfortunately the Smiths.
Oh, no.
No. You're in my joke there, Sam, but yeah, go on.
Oh, sorry, yeah. If you were going to say Promise Ring, it wouldn't have landed.
I wasn't going to say Promise Ring. No, you got me there.
They did this Promise Ring, who are just this incredible sort of emo band, but like, I wouldn't want to say, like, they're much more than that, whatever they are. They're just one of the greatest.
So what era was this, like early 90s still then? Or?
No, this is like, that record came out in the early 2000s.
Oh, right, okay.
That he did, Wood Water, I think it's called. I think that's the name of the record. But their records previous to that are some of my favourite records of all time.
I'll check them out.
And I'm sure there's something else we stole off of them, but no, we just, I didn't know. I work with Jordan from Rat Boy a lot, who's so good at finding these people that have previously worked on other records that he likes and putting teams together of people. So I actually stand by it as a sort of. It worked for Over the Counter Culture. I just think I can't imagine that with another production. I think we would have gone in a completely different direction. So
nailed it.
Yeah, but yeah. So the way I waited. What emotions? It was the question. But like, I remember this was the first record. This was the first record where my friend Adele Christodoulou, who lived on my road in Worthing. Her name, I've just remembered that name. I haven't said it in about 30 years. Her dad was really into it, right? And I was like, how is your dad into like young people music? That's so fucking weird. But it was just one of those records that was like, it just connected in a way that, it was a sort of cultural event. And I think those records those records are, if they're not rare now, I mean, maybe like a Dua Lipa record is a cultural event or something, but like there's not a record that is so weird, different, interesting,
dangerous,
yeah. Urgent,
unpredictable,
mind-blowing, weird, like strange, and just there's not a record like that I don't think that will ever be a cultural event like that. I just don't think. I think we've ruined culture to the point where, and I'm not, like, not saying that we ever had a choice. I'm just saying, like, what a great time to have been around when that could happen. I even think, is there an English? I guess Arctic Monkeys is the sort of noughties version of that. I feel like it's sort of increasingly difficult to imagine a world where we get that kind of thing where people are talking about it in school and at work
and the newspapers
and in the newspapers, and
and on one of the 4 TV channels that everyone has.
Exactly.
We need monoculture again, Sam. Not individual algorithms. This is the problem.
Well,
right?
I just think the monoculture that they would allow us to have it would be not
sanitized.
the one we want. I'm afraid.
Be quite Trumpian, perhaps.
It really would.
What would be the perfect setting to listen to this album, Sam?
Are we? Can I? Can I go travel through time?
Oh, get whimsical. Yeah, absolutely. Paint a picture.
Whenever I'm going through London, I'm sort of like trying to not be on my phone.
Sure.
And so I try not to listen.
Safety
to
first, right?
Stuff. Well, I just sort of. I try and like not use my phone if I can avoid it. And I like to think about, and you walk through London, you're like, oh, what would this place have been like in the 60s? And I think, what would it have been like in the 90s? Or 80s as well was good. And then in the 90s, I can always feel it. I can like sense that feeling. And I'm old enough to remember going to festivals and stuff when, in fact, I got kicked out of school for writing acid jazz on my collar of my shirt.
Pretty sick.
That's that's the era. Say you're old without saying you're old. So I loved all that. I was a big Britpop kid, and actually, what happened with me is that I then got into hardcore and sort of really turned my back on most of the Britpop. Then got old and realised that was like my music of my youth, and I love it. So I would love to be in my house in Worthing, Navarino Road. Maybe Adele Christodoulou is there. All my friends from like that we grew up on the street. It was just in that setting. It feels so perfect because it's just my sort of suburban. It feels like a sort of suburban record.
I'm like a street party down yours.
Exactly.
Summer's day. I'm seeing school holidays.
When was the Jubilee? Wait, not the Jubilee. When
Queen's
was
funeral?
Was that 97?
Oh, I don't know.
It was either the Jubilee or D-Day. One of those.
Princess Diana's death was 97. I don't know if that counts.
Oh, it was something like that. And then there was all these, bunting with the English flags. This is a thing that has just sort of, I've just dusted out the back of my memory somehow. That playing through a speaker system somehow, I'm not quite sure how good they were.
Big JVC,
right?
With more knobs than it needs.
Yeah, and the bunting and some little Martin Parr-esque sort of bakery goods on a plate somewhere. That's exactly where. And I'm saying that I'm like, God, I sound like a fucking reform idealist. But this isn't a time when like that was Labour, right?
Being British was class back then.
Being British was good.
It was pretty great.
Labour had promise back then. So
there was hope, Sam. There was hope.
There was hope. And and like that aesthetic is great. And I think that you I think you can look at situations with you can sort of ironically love something, right? I think that's Martin Parr. I'm a huge Martin Parr fan. As I love his photography. And I think what he'll do is just present something. Maybe it is sort of in a slightly sort of fond of Britain, Union flag bunting, but it's presented in it's so sort of multi-layered in what it's saying, and I think that this record does that because it's saying it's presenting England sort of without comment in a way, and I think that's what's so powerful about the album and why like I just think people aren't as attuned to nuance as that anymore. So it might be difficult to do now.
What's the best bit of this album, Sam? That's not really the best song.
Oh,
what's the best bit?
Well, I think I sort of already said it, where it's like, it's just that magical pairing where it's like, it all just feels like no one else could have made this record. And I mean that with Stephen as well. I mean, Stephen he made it sound so crisp, and he's just a very, I mean, he's Stephen as a producer, he is such an amazing facilitator where he will just get into your brain without you even knowing he's done that, and make this crisp version of what you want. So I think it's just this magic sort of lightning in a bottle moment where 4 people managed to be in a band and find a producer and make a record that landed at a time when the culture aligned, and it was all these. And Oasis is that definitely maybe is that record as well.
It's about 45 minutes. I don't know, right? We've done well there.
But yeah, I feel like maybe I should do more now because Alan will be happy. But
Alan, if you're listening.
But no, I think you need magic for a record to really be a cultural event like that, right? Yeah. You can keep. This is the way I think about songwriting, right? Is like I can go into a songwriting session. I have to write the best song I can at that every day, right? I have to hope that everything else is aligned in some magical one-off way for that to then be a hit. And so I think that my favorite thing about this record is just how sort of unlikely it all is to come together.
That's actually a really important part of like the Blur story, I think. These 4 people shouldn't be best mates.
Yeah.
They're such different people.
Yeah.
And I remember when I saw them at Wembley, like 20 years ago, I was at Wembley a couple of years back, and they'd done Under the Westway, which is a song I hadn't listened to in about 15 years. I found it really emotional, it really hit me. And they went straight from that into End of a Century.
Yeah.
And I crying my eyes out. I've gone to my wife. The band's about friendship, really. This is the band about friendship. It's so unlikely, and yet they love each other so much.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of, they've got that Beatles thing where like these 4 very different characters created something so unique and so special. And Blur only works with those 4 people, right?
Yeah, and I think that's what's so good about Star Shaped, right? Is like you're just like, it makes sense. Like they all dress different but the same. They all like. I mean, I see a lot in terms of the relationships in them as I see between my band.
Yeah,
and Chuck is like my one of my best friends of all time, but I didn't speak to him for about 20 years.
Yeah.
Right. So like, and we love each other, but there's also that sort of like we're in a band, so that's just, it creates a certain type of a relationship anyway. It's such a special.
It's a brotherly thing. You don't. It's
a brotherly thing. Yeah. So and recently we when we decided to redo this, to do the band again, I was in LA, so he just came over to hang out with me in LA. We went to the desert. We went surfing in Malibu and like. Just had this.
I want to be your mate. Sounds class.
It was really good, and no, it was great, and like from the back from watching, the Star Shaped has actually been a big sort of influence in my life in a weird way, because you see these people not taking it seriously, but also the gigs being so good, and like is it Pop Scene they play in that? It's one of the
it gets really rowdy.
It's amazing.
What a tune that is, by the way.
I know. I was saying this about, because I don't know whether to put Peer Pressure on the album or not. That's our new single that came out, and I'm like, well, think about the bands that have had a single that was not on anything.
Standalone singles.
Another one is Whatever by Oasis.
There it is.
But I think that's because it was a bit like a Ruttles song, right? Do you know that story?
Of course, yeah.
But I can't remember the question again, but I've gone and rambled about nonsense.
Don't know what the question was. Don't care. I'll tell you what. What's your experience of seeing Blur live then, Sam?
I saw them back in the day.
Yeah?
In the 90s. Yeah, with my brother. No, it wasn't. It was at festivals and things. I can't even.
She was going to
think
festivals quite young, was you?
Yeah, well, I used to put them on as well.
Did you?
Yeah.
Say more about that.
Oh, well, me and my old manager, we were just promoters. So the one, I was part of this festival that was an absolute nightmare, the Essential Festival.
Tell me everything about the Essential Festival.
Do you know what? I don't know if I think maybe I'm not allowed to talk. No, it was just, I don't know, the guy was just a maniac and like, I don't think he paid it everyone. And like, it was just like a nightmare.
It's a giant scam.
Yeah, it was a giant scam.
Shit.
So we all got fucked over. Yeah.
So glad I asked.
But I haven't seen them in their latest. You haven't seen them for 20 years or more.
Because I could have seen them more, but I saw them at Glastonbury. It was 2009, wasn't it, at Glastonbury? Yeah. And it was at the time probably the best night of my life. I had such a magical healing experience. Yeah. And I had a few opportunities over the 2010s and stuff at Coachella, and I said, don't want to watch them. Hyde Park, don't want to watch them. It was too special at Glastonbury. Then I stopped being so soppy and stupid and divvy and watched them at Wembley, and it was beautiful. And
magical. I wanted to go. I really like that song, The Narcissist. I think that's
so
really
good, isn't it?
I sort of went off them a bit.
Yeah, same.
And that's not, you know, I said something in the podcast about Libertines like recently, and I love the Libertines, right? But they just chopped this one little bit where it sounds a bit like I'm sort of slagging them off. And then all these people came for me. So I'm really wary about what I say that isn't positive, right? Because I love Blur.
That's been made very clear. I think you're okay there.
But I get, you know, even when Song 2 came out, I was going through, I was 14 by then or maybe 13 or 14. So I was like, mainstream, lamestream. So I was like, you know, all I was listening to was like, you know, underground hardcore bands and all this. So that it was just me going to another space really, and then I just sort of didn't engage with them. And then Think Tank came out.
What do you think on Think Tank?
I actually really liked that.
I
record.
love it.
Yeah. I think it's got. I love We've Got a File on You.
Really Larry, isn't it?
It's great.
Yeah.
Do you know what is it? So I was like, I want a song. Hopefully, it's not going to be too much like it when it comes out. If I've said this out loud, but I really want a song that does that, where it's like, it's the perspective is really, it's just such a clever line to say so much, right? And the perspective of it is really, it's not like they've got a file on me. And again, it's like the character. So then you're playing a character. Then you're like, you know, you start to see them in your mind's eye as in those like business suit photo shoots they did. And I don't know. To me, it's like such a perfect little moment on that record. And I loved that. I had my ex-wife actually bought me a big, the big Think Tank like.
Who done the artwork for that? It
wasn't it not Banksy.
Yeah, whatever happened to him?
Right. It was Banksy, right? Yeah. Because I didn't know you were doing one of your jokes. I was like, oh,
sorry,
wait.
I should warn you about that. Sorry.
Well, whatever did happen to him? Hasn't he been outed?
Who effing knows?
Yeah.
Is Blur's best song on Parklife?
I think Blur is a really hard band to say what their best song is for many reasons.
There's a lot of good answers. A lot of right answers.
There's a lot of right answers, but also they've been so many things. I really like Leisure, which I know I'm like, maybe Blur fans don't like it as much as the rest.
Fuck them.
Yeah, true. I really like Leisure. I think that's a great album. I think they do so. They're such a sort of varied band. Like they're such an adventurous and risk-taking band that I don't think you can really say what the best song is.
Worth a go, wouldn't it?
Maybe I would say this is a low for me.
I'm not big on This Is a Low.
Oh, really?
Can I surprise you with that? Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I just am depressed man, so I think maybe it just appeals to me.
Maybe that's where I'm going wrong. I need more.
You need some more sadness in your life.
More sadness in my life.
No, I think it's again a bit of a magic song. It's do you know what a song I actually love on it that I've forgotten is London Loves.
It's all right.
I love those like Londony.
Yeah, but it's a bit too Londony. It's a bit on the nose, I think.
I also love, do you know London Crawling, which was originally by Kinky Machine, and then Rialto did a version of it. God, that's a good song. That's good. Yeah, London
Give me some good homework to those, Sam.
Yeah, it's really, really good. it's a taxi ride, like when you've been out all night on the way back to sort of bed to stare at the ceiling through the like empty streets. It's very visual again, which is maybe I'm finding out that I like visual lyrics, but
we're getting there. I'm happy this is turned into a therapy session. Yeah. What's the worst bit of this album, Sam? Is there a worst bit? You've been so passionate and eloquent about this brilliant masterpiece.
God, I mean, maybe now that you can skip on cassette, maybe the worst bit was the little interludes.
I was going to say,
were just a bit. They were a bit of a sort of Ringo song on the White Album. Or
some of Ringo's songs are good. I think that's the difference. But
no, but they are. These are good. They're great, and I'm sure
they serve a function. But you're not going to go, "Oh, I'm desperate to hear one of the little interludes."
But in a way, it's like there are certain bands that manage to sort of fold that idea into, like I would say, Funboy Free have a bit of that sort of fairgroundy stuff. But it's sort of all mixed in. It's like they didn't quite shake the I couldn't think of what my analogy was going to be there, but whatever the thing that you shake before you put it in the oven is. You don't shake a cake mix; it would just go everywhere.
The analogy has failed, but that's okay, Sam. That's okay.
But no, I think so. But I do get why they're there, and I think it's like it is nice to have space.
Yes.
But when I was listening to it on my headphones, and I still haven't worked out. I know you can skip by doing some sort of,
double tap, triple tap, turn around, and touch your toes. But I would say maybe that's the worst bit on the album, but it's still fucking brilliant. Come on, we'll take that. Yeah. Who's your favourite member of Blur, Sam?
I like Damon.
Correct.
Damon.
Good answer. I met him a couple of times. Yeah, I can tell this. Yeah, so Jordan, your man, he's sick of me. He's fucking sick of me because I used to live 5 minutes walk from Damon's studio. And he was recording there for what felt like about 2 years.
I've recorded there with Jordan.
Just went out of Ladbroke Grove.
Amazing studio, isn't it?
Good room. So I met him once in my old life at Heathrow, where I met you once before, if you remember. Huh. And I told him, your ice cream truck's parked around the corner from my flat. And he goes, it's parked outside some like MOT garage. He goes, it's not an MOT garage. That's my studio. I was like, oh, right. And then after that, I kept seeing him cycling around. Mick Jones was always around carrying 2 cups of coffee, walking faster than any man should. And Jordan, Rat Boy, was constantly hovering about, hi, Jordan, how you doing, mate? You right?
Well, he's got... I'm not really I'm actually not allowed to talk about that at all. But I do have a big things coming as well, which is exciting. But I'll tell you about that later on.
I'll message.
Take it. Yeah. But he's got a record coming out that's out now. The album's coming out in like this month.
Sick.
On Hellcat, and it's really good. It's like a proper sort of good sort of punk.
I was going to say, I was hoping he was going to say punk.
It's the punkest thing he's ever done.
I know he's got it in him. Yeah. Sick. Is there anything we've not covered about this album that you would like to mention, Sam?
Oh, there were loads of things that I thought of that I really wanted to say, and I can't think of any of them now.
Shit.
Yeah.
We've covered a lot of ground.
Yeah.
Maybe send a voice note in afterwards.
I will.
To keep you up at night. But
just it's such a treat.
Such a good album.
And it's such a treat to have, it's think about this 30-year thing, but it's like, for me, I was then like the biggest Kinks fan of all. I loved the Kinks because I just knew that Damon liked him. And I do think that I hope it sets up I hope there's another 30-year Britpop. I'm sure there are Britpop bands out there that are brilliant that I'm not heard of, but
I can't wait to find out.
Yeah. And I'm going to make the next one, aren't I, with the Ordinary
We've
Boys.
been through this, yeah. Thanks for that, by the way.
Yeah.
This has been amazing, Sam. Thank you so much for doing this,
thank
man.
you.
This has been class. But we are not done yet.
Oh, right.
There is one last feature that we do at the end of this bloody podcast. It's a game of fair play, guys, or not those guys. So I've pulled NME's album of the year from 1994. Okay. Where do you think Blur's groundbreaking, life-affirming cultural reset of an album, Parklife, charted in NME's album of the year 94?
Oh, I think the Enemy really liked Blur.
Yeah.
And I can't... second?
Shall we find out? On a countdown from 20, you just got to tell me fair play or...
What, if I like them or not?
Exactly.
Oh, right.
Honestly, but I should say, by the way, this list is fucked. Like,
Is it amazing?
This is mental. I don't know. It's mad.
All right, go on.
At 20, Freak Power, Drive-Through Booty.
Yeah, good.
I mean, do you like it? I've
Freak
never heard
Power,
of it.
yeah, banger.
Good gear? Okay,
Yeah,
well, I wouldn't mention
really
that. 19, Brainiac, Bonsai Superstar.
Absolutely no idea what that
What
is.
idea. This one
Sounds cool though. Sounds very Britpop.
Does sound very Britpop. Speaking of very Britpop, are they Britpop? I've not heard of these guys, I don't think. At 18, am I pronouncing this right? Definitely Maybe by Oasis.
Wait, 18?
18, isn't that mental?
How embarrassing.
How fucked is that?
Yeah. Wow.
Any good?
Come on. I mean, it's like also one of the best albums
One of the best albums
yeah.
of all time. It's not a bad year, that. At 17, Portishead, Dummy.
Oh, I love that record.
You've lit up, Sam. We love it. At 16, Johnny Cash, American Recordings.
Great. Yeah. I mean,
I wouldn't say it defined 1994, but all the same. Thanks, Johnny.
I don't know which one that is.
No, I can't remember it.
It's not a re-record one, or is it?
Not Impossible, actually. Yeah, American Recordings. I reckon that's an album of covers, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not like Hurt, though, is it?
No, that's
Hurt's later than that.
way later. Yeah.
Still, shout out to Johnny
Yeah.
Cash. At 15, Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds.
Oh, yes.
Let Love
We love
In.
that.
We love Nick
Great
Cave,
record.
obviously. At 14, Jeff Buckley, Grace.
I mean, obviously Jeff Buckley's great.
Pretty class. At 13, Nas, Illmatic.
Oh, I wrote a song for Nas once.
Tell me everything about working with Nas, please.
I didn't actually record him. I just wrote the song and then someone else did it.
What a story. At 12, Dodgy, Homegrown.
Oh, we like them. They're managed by Alan as well.
If you're listening, Alan. At 11, you mentioned them already, Suede, Dogman Star.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Do you know
yes,
Suede?
Yes.
This is what I was going to say
Here we go.
that we hadn't said. Is what an amazing B-side collection.
I listened to that a few... Oh, we'll say Blur or Suede.
Well, the Suede one is the best B-side collection of all time.
It's the longest.
Ever.
It's the longest.
It's so fucking good.
It's unbelievable. There's some really big anthemic riffs. So basically, I listened to that for the first time about 3 weeks ago.
Oh, really?
Long day.
Wow.
Long day. It's 2 hours, 20 minutes.
Amazing songs.
There's some good stuff
some of
on
their
there,
best songs are on there.
Yeah.
Really. And also the Blur B-sides from around this era.
Yeah.
Like Magpie. There's just
I've not spent enough time with them, Sam. It's a bit of a gap in my Blur knowledge.
So when I remember really wanting it when I was a kid, and when I was so when we started working with Stephen, I was got really back into Blur again, and I knew this thing existed. It was a box set. This is way before, Apple Music and everything. It was like £150 or something, and then I got MP3s of it from Stephen. So I had all the B-sides. So I've had this for years and years and years. So it's really worth finding it on the internet. They're out there.
I will do that. You did give me the homework for that, and I said, "Are you fucking mad? How busy I am." So yeah, 11 Suede, pretty class. At 10,
but their Suede that's one of my favorite albums. There's 3 of my favorite albums of all time are on here.
It's not bad going so far. We've got 10 more to go. At 10, Blur, Parklife.
Oh really? It's
fucked that, didn't they? They fucked that, man. 1994.
Wow.
The finger was off the pulse.
I'm really curious to see what else we got here.
Here we go. Well, this is where the jeopardy begins, right? So, to be fair, the next few are pretty sick. 9, The Prodigy, Music for the Jilted Generation.
That's
obviously.
a really good record.
Of course. At 8, Manic Street Preachers, The Holy Bible.
Oh, well, that's also one of the best records. Oh, that's an amazing album.
Good year, Sam. Good year. At 7, Madonna, Bedtime Stories.
I don't know what's on that one.
Exactly what I thought. I was hoping you could fill in the blank for me there.
My mum was really into the Dick Tracy soundtrack that she did.
Oh, right. Didn't realize that.
And there's one...
What's the way it's going there, Sam?
There's a Madonna... She was in Dick Tracy. I actually saw... I went and saw it in LA, and Al Pacino came out and did a talk.
Sure.
Because he's in it. And there was one song on this album where it's just Dick. She just says Dick on a keyboard, and it's just like Dick, 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 Dick. Which I remember thinking was really good when I was
There's no question about why she's a gay icon, is there? 7, 6, Sugar, File Under.
Oh my God. Another one of my favourite albums.
He's a Sugar guy. You're a Sugar man.
I love Sugar.
I listened to them for the first time the other week as well.
Oh, he's
pretty
a genius.
Did like it, yeah, pretty good. At 5, Elvis Costello, Brutal Youth.
Oh, it's a great record as well.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a good record.
Yeah.
I've got really into this Roy Orbison. So Roy Orbison did a 30-year anniversary show. It's called Black and White something, and it's just a TV show of him doing all his hits. And it was filmed months before he died in 1989. Guess who his guitarists are in the band?
Tell me who his guitarists are.
Elvis Costello and Bruce Springsteen. It's the most mental thing. And it's such a, you know he's about to die. He looks great. He's like, I've got really into these like 30 year later things. I love like surf music. I love the Ventures. They're like probably my favorite band at the moment. And they have like a special guest sort of show that they do. That's sort of a TV thing. That's their 30 year anniversary. So it's like 90, what would it have been? 88 or something. I'm not sure. And they have like the guitars from the Doors. I really recommend. That's good homework as well because that's an amazing thing to watch. It's on YouTube.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes.
Don't worry, I've got.
Sorry, you'll never leave the house again. I will quiz you on definitely on the Roy Orbison one because it's absolutely brilliant.
Fine, maybe we'll compare this something next year. At 4, never heard of them. Lotion, Phil Isaac.
Lotion. I don't know. I feel like I should.
We've all got gaps.
It sounds like a Britpop band.
Sounds like a Britpop band. It's 1994.
Should I tell you who I met the other night?
Tell me who you met the other night.
Louise from Sleeper.
Very sick.
She was amazing.
Amazing.
She's lovely.
How is she?
She just looks,
like a 90s icon.
She looks like she's 19 years old. She's like, she's amazing. Really, she was very, very friendly and nice.
Love that. Shout out to Louise if you're listening. At 3, Vangelis, Blade Runner. It's basically the soundtrack to Blade Runner.
Oh, right. Nice. Yeah, go on.
Better than
so
Parklife?
I mean, not necessarily as... Well, yeah, I mean, it's culturally significant.
Culturally significant. I guess it came out in the 80s though, right? Did it, Blade Runner?
Yeah. You sure it's not just like some dance band called Vangelis?
I've not fact-checked this, Sam. Is it obvious?
Right. I don't know.
Fuck knows. At 2, Neil Young and Crazy Horse, Sleep with Angels.
Oh, that's a great album.
There's a lot of good gear.
Yeah. No, that's good.
Gear. At 1, an Enemies album of the year, 1994. Orbital, Snivelization.
Not for me, that one.
Not bad going.
Yeah.
Enemy, you fucked it. But I tell you what, we had fun on the way. Samuel Preston from the Bloody Ordinary Boys. This has been a right laugh, man.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. I really enjoyed that.
This is your chance to plug or promote anything that's coming up in your world.
Oh, we're doing some gigs with Madness again. And we got some gigs coming up. Just come and see the Ordinary Boys live. That would be follow me on follow the band on the internet. We've got an album. I don't know, just check in.
Oasis or Blur?
After all of this, I think Oasis.
I've been William Hann. He's been Preston from the Ordinary Boys. They've been Blur. And this has been this album.
That was great. Nice, I really felt like I was in it. I felt like I was like...
You were in the zone. It's great, man.